Behold, trapped in a hellscape of their own invention, socially unaware old white men bound by the pretense of being fake lawyers yet knowing no law, no exquisite Latin terminology, they are inexplicably compelled to quibble over minutia, squabble over triflings, and bicker like those who value their backyards far too highly without even knowing the difference between an easement and an alleyway. At this very moment, you have entered the heart of the Law Offices of Quibble, Squabble, and Bicker. Let's get started.
Welcome to another edition of the Law Offices of Quibble, Squabble, and Bicker, brought to you today by the I Have a Burning Pain in My Crotch lozenge. So that's our first sponsor for the newest season. If anybody has any other sponsors they want to come up with later, feel free. Anyway, today we have... What was that, Greg?
How much are they paying us?
I believe it's -$3. We owe them money.
We have to pay them?
Yes, exactly.
I'm using the product myself.
What's it taste like?
Cigarettes and bad dreams.
That sounds appropriate. All right, well, today we have a very special guest all the way from the tropical island of Iceland. This is Einar Haraldsson, who is a prominent, I think, actor in Iceland, former police officer, and he's decided to come on our show. We'll figure out why later. And our client for our fake law firm today is When Clichés Were New. And Einar, if you choose at the halfway mark, you can either help us deal with our new client or you can leave. It'll be up to you. We don't force anybody anymore to stay and deal with what ridiculousness we talk about. So, anyway, I do have a quick question for you, though. So, are you personally descended from Vikings?
No.
Okay, because I know that your mother is Danish, your father is Icelandic, but do they come from other parts of the world?
No. They are, of course, they are pure Vikings.
Oh, okay.
And Icelandic.
Okay, so you're definitely descended from Vikings then.
Yeah.
Are you the most famous person outside of Bjork from Iceland, or are there more famous?
More.
You're more famous than Bjork, in my opinion.
That's right. She won't talk to us, but you will. So
I was gonna say, do you know her? I mean, there can't be a lot of people there, right? I mean, like three phone calls and you're on the phone with Bjork.
We are 360,000 population here. So Bjork is living in the States.
Oh, wow!
But he probably can reach her parents with no problem.
Yeah, I have a phone number.
So the whole country of Iceland is 60,000 people?
No, he said 360,000.
360. That's still like a small Midwestern city.
Well, that's like the size. That's like the size of Portland almost.
Yeah.
It's like a big company in the U.S.
Yeah.
That's right. They're the size of ExxonMobil.
Yeah.
We have that many meth addicts in Central Florida, so it's all about how you just cut out the demographics.
They could start their own nation.
They should.
Secede from the Union.
They should.
Methlandia.
I love it.
So how is it that you've gone from being a police? I mean, well, actually, I have another question. How bad is the crime rate in Iceland? I mean, how much work do the police officers do? But do you just get a lot of cats out of trees?
Now, for example, the police officers here in Iceland, we don't carry a gun because we don't have so much crime.
Right.
So we have a SWAT team which we can use, but crime, no.
Were you on the SWAT team?
No.
Okay.
No.
So it's really only when Eric gets too drunk and somebody's got to go round him up.
We got to get Eric out of the tree.
There's Eric again.
He's got strong Viking blood, Eric.
So were you a patrolman? Were you a patrolman or a detective or okay?
I was both in first I was patrolman, then detective.
And what was the biggest crime you had to actually detect when you were? What was the one that affected you the most? The one that like tortured your soul the most?
Oh, yeah. We had while I was there, we have a murder, which we have to investigate. But not like in the U.S.
No, we have our special murders here.
You had one murder.
Yeah, we have maybe one murder 1 year, but you have a one murder a minute.
Yeah.
I mean,
is that all?
Got murdered somebody just got murdered outside. We already don't care.
You already don't care.
It's like the weather.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's murdery today. Extra murdery.
Oh,
wow.
So
bring your umbrella.
I smell a death in the air today. It's
my
coming.
trick knee's acting up. I think a lot of murders are happening.
But was there like, I mean, was it what was the main thing? Was it like burglaries or petty theft, shoplifting?
Burglaries, yeah.
Just a lot of drunk tank stuff.
Yeah.
Like everybody was getting drunk apparently. And,
not just
yeah. For example, now it's more nowadays than before. We have people here from Eastern Europe.
Oh.
The bad eggs.
So you got the Russian mafias in Iceland.
Exactly.
Ah, okay.
Igor and everybody.
Igor.
Yeah. Igor and everybody. They're worse than Eric.
Yeah, they're worse than Eric.
So how is the Icelandic police dealing with this influx of Russian mafia coming in?
Yeah, we are taking this seriously, and we have arrested them. So we have control over it.
I guess it's got to be slightly easier to deal with on an island nation in terms of people coming in, because there's not a lot of places they can run to. They can't cross a lot of state lines or anything.
Just run them right to the cliff, and they're like, "Okay, I give up."
And the biggest punishment is you make them eat lutefisk or something, right?
We said you can jump or in a jail.
Yeah, exactly.
Actually, I am curious. What do you feed them in the jails? I mean, do you feed them really nice foods, or is it just bread and water in Icelandic jails? What do they get?
They are just like in a 5-star hotel.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
All right, we're going to Iceland. We're committing crimes, guys.
Yeah.
In Florida, they don't have air conditioning.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah. Forget the food. They're passing out from the heat.
Well, I know you came on to talk about your police career.
Let's talk movies. How did we get to movies from?
Yeah, how did you get into the film business from being a cop?
Especially in Iceland. I mean, well, I guess all the industries in Iceland probably all work together because there's only 5 people who live there.
When I was in the police force, I was also a secretary general for International Police Association, which is a group of police friendship between the police officers around the world, and the police in LAPD, they invite me to come or stay with them 6 weeks, and most of my colleagues there, they were bodyguards for the celebrities, and that's why I met many of them, and they said to me, these celebrities which I met, when I retired, why not start in this business?
Interesting.
I said, okay, I will think about it.
And what insane Hollywood celebrity suggested you take your life in that direction?
Yeah, I met, for example, Elton John.
Oh.
I met Sandra Bullock. I met many of these big stars.
And which one was it?
Oh,
go ahead, Greg.
Did the LAPD officers kind of suggest that you guys should murder suspects more and beat the shit out of people that you arrest? Hey, you guys aren't doing it right. You're being too nice. You gotta really hurt them. Maybe kill them.
Yeah, but I saw when I was there, I just looked like TV shows. They are asking for me. When they are arresting people, we will arrest them. It's just like a show business. I saw it, how their reaction, but it's okay. It was fun.
they gave you like extra billy club lessons, like how to like crack a skull really well. It's like it's in the wrist. You got to use the wrist.
Yeah, I think it's mostly about planting drugs more than anything.
Is that in LA? In LA.
In LA.
Yeah.
Is somebody's TV on or something? I'm hearing like voices in the background somewhere.
I
Anybody?
don't have any sound here.
Anybody's hear that? That's what I'm hearing. What
Wait.
was that?
My TV. Sorry.
We're so exciting to him. He's watching TV while talking to us.
He's watching a cop show, probably.
It sounded kind of like a very breathy girl. I was
And
getting
he's-
kind of interested as
He's
to what it
pretending.
was.
He was pretending it was a TV, but in reality, like lift up his shirt, and there we go.
That's my favorite kind of TV.
So you were a Secretary General of an international police association. That's
Yeah,
that's kind of
yeah.
interesting.
Yeah, the Icelandic section. Yeah, I was for 7 years. I was that.
So what does it mean to be Secretary General? Is there a Secretary Major and a Secretary Captain?
No, it's we have a this is called in English Secretary General,
Right.
not in US language.
Well, in Icelandic, what do they say?
Yeah, we only call it a secretary.
Okay.
But in England they call it Secretary General.
Oh, okay. Because it's like an
Not-
overall responsibility or something.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
if they just
not
said he
like
was a
Grand
secretary, they would expect him to take notes
Well, I think you probably
And-
would have to take notes.
and get coffee for everybody else who's coming.
It's like the head honcho, if you will.
Well, only if you will.
the big cheese.
Yeah, the big kahuna.
So with going into acting, so Sandra Bullock is the one who told you to go into acting?
Yeah.
Or was it Elton John? Because if it's Elton John,
Uh,
he shouldn't be giving acting advice.
no.
He's not an actor.
Did he
No,
tell you to
no.
write songs and get into the recording industry?
No. No.
Yeah, how's
But,
your singing voice, Einar?
you like to hear?
Yeah, let's do
Yes,
it.
actually, we
Oh,
would.
yeah.
What is the most popular Icelandic folk song?
Oh my God. Shall I sing it for you? Or
Yes.
is that what you want?
Yes, thank you. We would greatly appreciate it.
No.
Welcome to the acting business. Come on, you're
The-
our performing
The
monkey.
sound doesn't like me.
The
What
sound
about
doesn't-
the Icelandic national anthem? Could you sing us a few bars?
Yeah. Opus vårt land, lands vår.
Uh-oh, and then he went mute. Am I muted? Can anybody
You
else?
have a better national anthem than we do. That's a prettier song. It's a nice little melody.
It's nice. Ours
Yeah.
sounds kind of colonizy.
So
Yeah,
apparently
you
my
can hear that.
internet went funky. I missed like half of what he sang.
He sang the Icelandic national anthem for us.
I missed
You
half of it.
Yeah.
I saw his lips moving, but I heard no sound. So
Well,
that
you
was-
you were looking cool because you were like this.
can't wait to see how that turns out later.
It was good.
Love
It didn't
the
last.
internet.
Didn't seem to last very long though.
Yeah, it was for a moment, which is weird because I'm like connected through cable. I shouldn't be having internet issues, for crying out loud. So
Einar, what was your first role you got? How did you start acting? Like, what were your first few roles?
My first role was in Sisterhood, called Sisterhood, TV series.
wait, you were in Sisterhood? Was that with Whoopi Goldberg?
No, it's Icelandic.
It's an Icelandic TV show.
Oh,
Oh,
Yeah. Most of it's Icelandic TV shows and two American movies, Copperhead Creek and Ride the Wanted Trail, which will come out next year.
oh, okay.
And then I'm January. I'm heading to Dallas, Texas, where I'm going to take part of some horror movie.
Ooh.
Nice.
And after that, I'm going to LA. And there's a TV series there. I have to.
What's the horror movie you're going to be in? Is it called Killer Icelandic Cop?
No, it's nothing about Iceland.
Maniac Icelandic Cop.
Beyond Bjork.
Yeah. No, it's an American movie. It's
Oh,
nothing,
so it's a slasher film where they kill teenagers.
I will not say anything.
That's a documentary.
Yeah.
I think
That's a way of
Lisa
life.
London's
brother.
going to be in this.
Who's going to be in it?
Lisa London is Lisa London in this movie? Einar, do you know? She's a famous horror actress in our country.
I cannot say anything who is and what because
Okay.
I'm
get
not
it.
allowed to. Yeah.
So
Need to
how do you get these
You have-
roles? How do you get these LA roles, these Hollywood roles coming out of
I'm-
Iceland? I mean,
Yeah, Stephen Joyner, he is my PR,
uh-huh.
and he is the one who is working for me.
Okay, so he's been getting you the roles.
Yeah,
Oh, that's very
He's-
nice.
He is working on it.
Now, when you're doing these roles, are you playing somebody from Iceland or Scandinavia?
No.
Okay.
I'm just like an American detective or.
Could you give us your American accent? Could you
Yeah,
say
let me hear an
something
American
in
detective
American?
voice.
American accent?
Yeah, let me hear your American accent.
Well, would you like to have him from Texas or from?
Yeah, let's do
Okay.
Texas.
I want to hear
Did
your
you say-
Nebraskan accent.
Can you go? Yeah,
or,
like
or maybe like a South Dakota accent.
Northern Tennessee might be kind of interesting.
Did you say you have the right to remain silent in Texas accent?
You've
This is
stumped him.
practice. You need practice, Einar, for your role. We're helping you out here.
Are you just not having? Are you just not getting any talking parts? Is that basically it? You just they just
Yeah, of course I'm getting. I'm the main figure in the movie.
you're the main figure in the American movie where you're playing American
Yeah,
police officer
yeah.
Texas.
who has
no,
no detectable accent.
no.
Okay.
It's only.
So you could be an American policeman, and you can have an accent as long as they say that you came from another country. That would fit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Because otherwise it would be what? Like what state is he from? Is he from Maine? Are they talking that way in Maine now?
Yeah, you could play a refugee from Iceland who settled in America. You got refugee status.
Yeah, because of all of the terrorist activities in Iceland that caused him to have to leave.
Yeah.
Gangs.
He had to get asylum here from the terrible Icelandic government that was
He had to stay
hunting
no,
down
no.
his family.
I've got the
Eric
pitch.
was
It's
causing trouble.
a coven of witches who have escaped Iceland to practice some nonsense in America, and he's the only cop because he was watching these cats.
Yeah,
and he
yeah.
came to America to chase them down. Kind of a
That works.
Yeah.
I think
Right,
you've got
right, bro.
I think you've got a script there, Brendan.
Let me
Yeah.
get working on it.
That's
Great
right.
elevator pitch. You should work in Hollywood. Off the top of your head.
Exactly.
I think that would be an excellent story. I think that we could do a whole series of Icelandic Cop Witch movies.
Yeah.
Einar, if you got more roles in America, would you want to move here, or you love Iceland? You want to be a Icelander, or would you want? Or do you think about moving here to be closer
Yeah.
to the business?
Yeah. I am.
Yeah.
So as soon as I get some roles, I will move. Of course, it's better to stay there and be here.
How
Well,
long's
if you
the
want.
how long's the flight from Iceland to LA?
It takes about 10 hours direct flight.
Got it.
Oh,
But it's a direct flight. Yeah, that's not too horrible.
Einar, if you want a green card, I'll marry you. I got nothing going. I don't mind. It'll be a fake marriage, of course.
He was a policeman, Greg. He can't do something like that.
I think that's a whole nother screenplay. I married Einar, starring Greg Kinnear as Greg Pettix.
I married Einar.
Yeah.
That's got a ring to it.
It does. I'm on fire tonight.
You
Einer's
are.
bringing out the Hollywood in me.
So what are you hoping to achieve with this Hollywood career? Do you expect to be in on Broadway, or do you just want to do films, or do you want to be
films,
Okay.
and yeah. I'm not so much in the theater.
not a stage actor? So, and you
No.
came across this late in life. So, have you been taking acting lessons, or are you just
Yeah,
are you just playing yourself the whole time?
No, I have taken here and here in Iceland.
Okay.
School.
So you're kind of like Iceland's Will Smith.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I really want to go to the improv theater in Iceland now for some reason. That's got to be a hoot.
Well, what exactly would you want all of our millions and billions of listeners to know about you and your career? What's the most important thing they should know?
Yeah, to see me in the movie. If I can get in the movie, I would like to be as good as the others there. So I can. I already have a fans in the US.
Yeah, I've seen you all about and on a lot of different podcasts. So
Yeah.
Right.
definitely
So
making waves.
what's the next movie that you can talk to us about, or what's the movie that's out that you could talk about? You said you did
He said like Ride the Western Wave or something like that.
Ride the Western Wave. What?
No, ride the trails. Yeah,
Ride the trails. Obviously, I misheard him completely.
But I have also movie in UK called like a karate film, comedy film.
Oh,
Did you do some karate in that movie?
No.
Oh.
I'm more in judo. Not
Okay.
karate.
A judo guy. Okay. Well, yeah. What are we thinking? You're a judo guy.
The gentle.
Then I have also in France go to France to have take a movie there.
How many languages can you speak?
I can speak Icelandic, of course.
That's good to know.
English, Danish, Swedish, Norwegian, a little bit Spanish, and Filipino.
You mean Tagalog?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
My wife is from Philippines.
Oh, yeah. I actually went to high school in the Philippines.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I can actually find it on a map.
Greg is still trying to find a map.
Somewhere on my phone.
There's one on your phone, Greg. I'll show you after the show.
Yeah, please. Tech support.
Mm-hmm.
So did you ever want to be an actor when you were younger? Was it a little dream in the back of your head always?
Yeah.
Or you never thought about it?
No, it was in a dream when I was small, of course. And then, like I said, 91 when I went to US with the LAPD, I got this from the celebrities. I should when I retired, but I didn't think about it until 2005. And I said, I stopped in the police 93, and I didn't think about it going acting until 2005. Then I said, okay, I will now try take it to school and see.
Wow.
Well, you're doing a remarkable job of just like getting your foot right into it. I mean, because you've got about 15 acting credits to your under your name already, right?
Yeah, I have been lucky. I'm a lucky punk.
Right, because you were in Sisterhood, and I'm going to try to pronounce these various different shows that you were in, and I'm going to do them no justice whatsoever.
I look forward to this, Matt.
You were in Stella Blomqvist 2, Vidjanir, Verblin, Berdremi, Black Sands I can do, Lenny Lugan, and Cooperhead Creek.
Lady Lugan?
Copperhead Creek.
Cooperhead Creek?
Or Copperhead Creek in English.
Oh yeah.
Copperhead Creek.
I was
Oh,
trying
okay.
to Icelandicize it.
Oh, I see.
And then there was Ride the Wanted Trail. That's what it was. Ride the Wanted Trail. So.
Ride the Wanted Trail.
And so,
And
which of those were you the lead actor, the main actor in? Any of those?
No, I was only like one of them. The actors inside. I was not the lead in that.
Do you like the guy standing off to the left?
Yeah.
Exactly.
I'm the one who's behind there.
So when he's like peeking up over the thing.
Yeah.
What's going on over there, guys?
So when you said that you were interested in acting younger, who's an actor or actress that you really go, oh man, they're the best? Or what's your favorite movie?
When I was young,
Carrot Top.
John Wayne was, of course.
John Wayne.
Yeah, I'm that old.
Oh no, we're that old too.
We're that old too.
Yes, we're very
So, okay,
familiar
John
with...
Wayne. And would it be a John Wayne movie that would be your favorite movie, or were you
No.
more fascinated? Yeah. What's your
more
favorite movie?
Fascinating movie is when Clint Eastwood.
Vin Diesel.
Harry.
Oh, Clint Eastwood. I thought he said Vin Diesel.
Oh, yeah. I was Vin Diesel. I'm like, please tell me you're not like a Fast and Furious person.
No.
I might have to just like bye.
Cut off.
Clint Eastwood.
Clint Eastwood.
Well, he was a
Okay.
cop, so he's like dirty. And in Iceland, he wants to have
yeah.
the gun to be able to shoot the cops. That's, I think, where it comes from. It's like, I want to be dirty Einar.
Oh, yeah,
You can't get a more American tough guy than John Wayne and Clint Eastwood. That's you
yeah.
know.
And actually, why not have a whole series of dirty Einar movies in Iceland anyway?
Well, yeah, that just doesn't sound right in English. Totally, dirty Einar.
They think it's like a.
Have you seen the new
translate
Dirty
well.
Einar movie? Oh no.
I don't watch porn. Sorry.
I don't know what you're into, but I'm not there. No.
And so he didn't say which celebrities told him to get into the business. Could have totally been
Long Dong Silver.
Ron Jeremy or something.
I was thinking
Okay.
more Nicolas Cage, just kind of like, yeah, man, just do it.
No, Einar looks a little bit like Nicolas Cage, honestly.
A little bit.
It's like a similar, he's male.
He's a man, yes.
Who are the tough guy actors that you like in the past, 10, 20 years? Are there any other actors you emulate?
Yeah, now newly is Jason Statham.
Oh, Jason Statham's good. I like Jason.
Yeah.
I like him.
So you're going to be doing an action flick where you're driving a car
Yeah.
where you have to keep shoving like adrenaline into your heart or whatever it is. And...
That is my goal, is to be an action movie.
I could see you in Snatch. You could have been a character in that movie for sure.
Is he like the Brad Pitt character?
Well, no, but like one of the bad guys, like henchmen or wise guys, kind of.
He seems like he would be
from Iceland.
I think Einar would make a good science teacher in a movie.
A science teacher.
A two-fisted science teacher, though, who gets into lots of fights and car chases. One of those kind of science teachers.
So
Right.
like Breaking Bad.
Yeah,
Except he teaches biology. He teaches environmental science.
I don't want to put you on the spot, but would you give us a John Wayne impression? Did you ever do John Wayne?
I cannot do John Wayne.
Hey,
You
Pilgrim.
Come on, Pilgrim. You just
Hey,
gotta
Pilgrim.
slow your
You just got to
voice.
throw the word pilgrim in there and you're good.
Pilgrim, and you're good. Yeah, that's all you really need.
He's not doing it. You're out of luck,
No.
Greg.
Yeah.
So who would be your favorite Icelandic actor right now?
Yeah.
Because obviously it's going to be nobody that we know. But
Yeah. His name is Ólafur Darri Ólafsson.
Olafsson.
Olafsson.
Does everybody in Iceland have the last name that ends with son or
Son.
daughter?
Yeah.
Okay. So like everyone belongs to some other person apparently with their
Yeah,
last name.
exactly. Yeah, it's about our father, our father's
So was your
My fa-
father's name actually Harold?
Harold. Yeah,
Okay, so it does change every generation.
yeah.
Everyone's last, so you don't have like a last name that goes
I
back.
have a daughter. They are
And she's Einar's daughter. Got it.
Yeah.
Oh wow,
Oh, wow.
I had no idea that's how that was.
Wow.
Is that throughout the Scandinavian countries?
No, I think it's only here in Iceland.
Is it
The
so
other
you
coun-
don't like have incest or something? Because I would imagine like in a very small country like that, you got to watch out for tainting the bloodlines. Because
Yeah.
because you don't know who's related to who. But if you have those as the last names, you go, oh yeah, that's my
Oh,
sister.
yeah.
We can't get married
Yeah.
because
That's
you need the
Harold's
last
son.
name to know if it's your sister or not.
Also, some people are getting married, then they are already married, then they realize, oh, he's my brother. Oh, okay. Yeah, it's true. It's like that.
Wow.
They already have a kids.
That's why they let the Russians come in to help switch things up a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh,
Mix the
that's not a good.
bloodlines.
That's not a good gene pool. There's a better gene pool.
That's right. Everyone from the Maldives should be brought in.
From Florida.
No, not Florida. No. You do not want the people of Florida to come to Iceland. I don't know what they do. They'd be trying
And
to
breed.
jumping into volcanoes and
Yeah.
Shooting up
Many-
lava.
Well, you have like a live volcano in Reykjavik right now, right? That's
Yeah,
like a
yeah.
tourist attraction of some kind. It's actually
Yeah.
spewing lava regularly,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah,
Like
it's
downtown?
They say that it's the same. It comes from the same as in Hawaii.
Oh,
Oh, deep in the middle of the center of the earth.
so it is a tropical island then.
Yeah.
I wasn't wrong. Iceland
They-
is tropical.
they share a very long lava river.
Yeah,
so
Einar
to
looks
speak.
very
Yeah.
Polynesian to me.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we just get him some flour lays and
Moa, Moa.
No one could
In-
tell the difference.
Einar does Hawaii. or
Do you play
something.
ukulele too, Einar?
No.
Oh, well, that's sad. You like ruined my fantasy.
Really?
Yes. I was positive that you could pull out a ukulele and give us some tiny bubbles or something.
Have you tried to get any roles in the Philippines since you know the languages of all these
Oh, you'd
countries?
probably
You would
do
have-
great in the Philippines.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I haven't.
No, the Philippine culture, they really like Americans as celebrities who hang out there. And I think if you really, and they have an interesting movie process there as well. I think you could do well in the Philippines. You should look into that. And by the way, whenever you see your wife, tell her mabuhay from me. So,
Mabuhay, yeah.
or you can say ito ang beer, and she'll probably laugh if she hears that.
we have a house in the Philippines.
Oh yeah, which island?
No, it's in the near Tagaytay. You know where that is?
No, I don't know what that is at all.
No, it's not north. It's south of Manila.
Oh, okay, so it's on Luzon then.
Yeah, it's on Luzon. Yeah.
Okay, got it. I used to live in Subic Bay.
Ah, okay, yeah. The
Yeah.
north.
Yes, but
Where the military base.
yes, but no longer. Now it's like a
No.
resort or something.
Yeah.
Eventually,
I'd
I'm
like
going
to
to take
ask-
Greg and Brendan there for a vacation.
I'd like to
Oh,
ask
yeah.
Einar's wife if it's better to kill a cobra with a school bus or a steamroller. She might have, from the Philippines, she might know.
Oh,
the inside of
that's an
things.
excellent callback, Greg, to our second episode.
That is a good question.
Yeah,
a
it's a
great
good question.
I don't
We
know.
never really resolved that one.
Yeah, we never have.
It's like it was done with the school bus. Never saw it done with the steamroller. But I'm
You
still
never tried it.
positive the Cobra could outrun the steamroller,
You're probably right.
unless
Let's
you know
lay
the
it to
steamroller
rest.
is like a jacked steamroller that has like turbo on it or something.
Or maybe it's a sleepy cobra.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true. If
Maybe
the-
he's cold. He hasn't been out in the sun all day.
he's not going to be cold really in the Philippines. It's like 90 degrees all year round.
Maybe he's
Yeah,
lethargic.
yeah, exactly.
What if Vin Diesel was driving the steamroller?
That
He
would
could
be a whole
drive
different
the-
series of movies, which I might actually watch if he was just
killing cobras. every
Tokyo
movie.
drifting with steamrollers. He's like while paving at the same time. Well, I think this is a good time to move into our client for the day. And Einar, I want to thank you very much for coming. Is there
Thank
a
you.
website or anything else you'd like to promote?
Yeah, I have my website, www.einarharaldsson.com.
All right,
And
Haraldsson,
I'm-
everybody, is spelled Haraldsson, and Einar is EINAR. So, write that down, everybody. EinarHaraldsson.com.
And if you're watching it on YouTube, it'll be spelled out in the descriction below. Down
Yeah,
there.
it'll be in the show notes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then I have, of course, Instagram and Facebook.
Of course, he has Instagram and Facebook. But are you
Of course.
on TikTok, Einar? That's the real
No, never, no.
Yeah, you need to get on TikTok. You really, you would probably do well on TikTok, Einar.
Are you on
think so.
Grindr?
Especially if you
No,
started doing the TikTok
Only-
dances.
Yeah.
And
All
Brendan
right.
says that there's lots of witches on TikTok, and I think they would work with you on your Icelandic witch movie.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I have a whole TikTok witch connection.
It's an Icelandic witches of TikTok thing. So you have a choice. You can either leave now, or if you want, you can help us with our client today. And our client is When Clichés Were New. So
I
it's
would
your
be
choice.
interested, Einar, to see what like Icelandic cliches there are. They're probably different than our cliches, maybe. But you have to go. I understand.
No, I think I go now.
Okay. Smart man.
Okay.
Yeah, smart man.
Yes.
All right,
You
thank you very
win.
much. I'll be in touch with you, and I'll give you the link to when
Yeah.
the show comes up, and then you can watch us talk about you after you're gone.
Yeah, I'm happy to be with you. You are so great, guys.
Well, thanks. It was fun to have
and
you.
funny.
Feel the same.
Funny.
Luckily, you don't know us personally, because that opinion would change. So, anyway, thank you very
Yeah.
much, Einar.
Thank you very
That
much.
was Einar Haraldsson,
Bye.
everybody. Icelandic actor, former police officer, and serial killer. So thank you, Einar, for being here.
Thank you very much.
All right, bye-bye.
Okay. Bye.
Bye, Einar.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
All right, so onward
What a
to
good
our
egg.
client for he was fun. I don't
I
know
like
why
it.
he laughed at us all, but our client for today, everybody, in case you're wondering, is When Clichés Were New. So at some point, everybody knows various different cliches. I'm sure, like all for one for all, and all that glitters isn't gold, and get your panties in a twist, and all those things. Which at some point, the first time they were funny. And then a few times after that, they may have been of use as well. But then they became tired and annoying. And there's like a saying which is that a French poet, Gerard de Nerval, said, "The first man who compared a woman to a rose was a poet. The second, an imbecile." So you're about to witness a lot of imbecilic behavior, people. today.
Yes. Sometimes they come back though. Sometimes a cliche, it's such a cliche, but it's just funny. It's like old timey. And I've sometimes been enamored. And for like a month or two, I'll just start saying some old cliche. And I
What
find
would be an
it-
example of one that came back that wasn't a cliche?
No, it was a cliche all this time. And I don't
Uh-huh.
like to say cliches. I'd like to think I'm above that. But sometimes they're just funny.
You're fully original.
Yeah, sometimes they're just so weird and like some weird old saying, it's like
So what would be one that you feel still holds up,
I
that
can't
has
think
its
of the-
same novelty as when it was after it became annoying?
It's probably a different novelty. At first it was clever. Now it's just like some goofy old anachronism. It's like saying 23 Skidoo. Sometimes it's funny, even though it's not even said anymore. It's a dead
I don't even know if that's a cliche so much as it was just like a saying, like saying "yippee,"
Yeah, but maybe
So
at
like
the
an
time it became a
exclamation.
cliche. People would say, shut up with the 23 Skidoo already
Oh,
every time you're happy.
Yeah,
Or
what does
whatever.
skidoo even mean, and where's the 23 come from?
I don't
Well,
know.
there
I bet
was
it's from a comic strip.
22.
22
22 Skidoos. And then when there was 23, that's when all fucking shit broke loose, man.
22 Skidoo sounds
Skidoo.
better anyway because it rhymes. Whereas 23 Skidoo.
You're right. I like that. 22 Skidoo.
That's why it's 23. It doesn't rhyme. Oh,
And wasn't there even a
yeah.
band that was named after it? It was like 20 Husker Du?
Yes,
No,
that's
that
what
was
they were
just
called
Husker
back.
Du. Yeah.
That was named after a board game from like Finland. Apparently.
Was it? Was it? You think
Yeah.
we should have asked Einar about that then?
Yeah.
He might
But I
know
was
about
always-
Finnish board games.
This client has always fascinated me because there's cliches also, not just sayings, but in movies and literature, there's certain cliches. And we all grew up with the stupid twist ending where it was all a dream. Some crazy shit happens. But some guy wrote that first. Who was that first author? Maybe he was in ancient Greece. Maybe he was in the medieval times. Someone came up with that initial thing. Everyone
There's a modern day cliche. There are modern day cliches where we can say where they first came from. Like, you had me at hello.
Was that a cliche?
Yeah.
It's become a cliche. It's
Or
totally become a
crystal.
cliche.
When
Like, you
someone
had me at
says,
hello
like,
came from what, Jerry Maguire, right?
Jerry Maguire, yeah.
Yeah. And then it became used and overused and overused and overused and overused.
But you know what's the big cliche that I can't believe is kept being used? And I'm curious who did it first. I can't remember. I probably saw the movie. Is somebody blows up something, and then the two heroes walk away slowly in slow motion. It's like, when you blow up things, shrapnel falls from it, and it's very dangerous.
So you're talking about a visual cliche.
Yeah, it's a cliche though, and they still do that shit, and it's so dumb because when you blow something up, you don't want to be like I'm gonna walk away calmly. You could die. A big hunk of metal could go
obviously
through your skull.
You're a badass if you're walking away from an explosion.
Exactly.
But our memes are a big thing now, and some of those now are becoming cliches.
Yeah, that's true. Like that dinosaur one that's supposed to be like a philosopher or something like that. Like, and then those, what were the derp ones where it was like these strange faces that people made and they just got overused. So yeah, I mean that's like cliche in the information age.
Right.
Right.
So it's almost the amount of cliches that we have. If you start to think about memes as sort of modern cliches, the cliche business is booming. There's like a whole world of people who collect cliches and trade cliches and monetize
the comment that something is booming is in and of itself a cliche, right?
Sure.
But imagine the first time though somebody said that was booming. Like, where do you think that derived from? Was it from, where would it be from? Where do you usually use the term booming for? It has to do with a voice, or something.
No, it's blowing up. It's exploding. Business
right.
Is
so exploding is the cliche. So the first time somebody said, your business is exploding, how did the other person take it?
I've never heard that. I've never heard your business is exploding. That's worrisome.
Business is booming. You've heard that before.
Yeah, booming, but not
okay.
exploding.
So let's say, either way. So you used exploding as a synonym of booming. So I'm just saying. So the first time somebody said, "Hey, your business is booming," to a guy, and he goes, "My business isn't making loud noises. What the hell are you talking about?" Like
Could
how
be.
do you think? It's like
it really depends on how literal the person was that he was speaking to.
Yeah, you would have said that, Matt. You would have quibbled him and said, "Well, actually, it's not booming. It's just doing very successfully."
So somebody came to me and said, "Your business is exploding." I'd go, "I guess it is sort of blowing up in a weird way." Yes, I don't know that I would go, "It's not." I
didn't really mean it in a literal sense. I meant it more like how you were talking about it. But yes.
Yeah, I think the thing that cliches do is they become analogies. They become shortcuts to saying long things. A lot of them, in my opinion, like the writings on, like the writing is on the wall is a kind of a fancy way of saying that well, this shit is this is gonna come, this is happening,
like shit's gonna end. You're over. You're done.
Right.
The chickens have come home to roost.
But it's a poetic way, and I think a lot of them come from. Don't a lot of like cliches come from like some of them come all the way back from like lines out of Shakespeare or something?
Sure, they go back to frickin' Homer.
Yeah.
go back to the Iliad and the Odyssey. There's cliches that come all the way back from there. I don't remember what they are, but I know.
I had the weirdest thing happen just this week. A woman I know in her 40s, she had this situation, and it was very apropos to say, have you ever heard of the old saying, a bird in the hand is worth two in the bush? And she actually was like, I've never heard that. I don't know what you're talking about. And I was like, you never heard that? And then I'd explain it to her, what it means. That, like, don't get greedy.
Well, what would have happened if you hadn't explained it to her? How do you think she would have taken it?
She would have just not known what I was talking about, like Greg's drunk again. And he's babbling.
He's talking about birds and bushes.
You don't think she could have logically pieced together that a bird that you have is worth two that you don't have? You don't think she
I guess, yeah.
Maybe she just doesn't go around like capturing birds and it didn't really like sink in or something.
I've never captured a bird.
She's not like a bird catcher of some kind.
Yeah, but I just thought it was amazing.
Now, yeah, that she's never heard of that. I mean, that is kind of amazing. And
well, there's always a first time that we've heard of something. Like we've gone through our lives, and there's always been like and it comes at different stages. So when I was, I don't know, it's about 20, 30 years ago, the first time I heard the saying, you'll do what for how many cookies? Which apparently had been around for a long time.
I don't know what that is. That's not like cliche to me.
All right, so neither of you guys have heard it before. But for me at the time, I had never heard it before either. But now it's been around for like decades that I am aware of. And I was just laughing because somebody said, you'll do what for how many cookies? After some thing where somebody said they would do something. And I just thought that was really funny. But for me, it was like, oh, I'm coming in late on the chain of this cliche. And I felt kind of not stupid per se, but like out of the loop or something. Like, well, how did I miss this one? And I think that happens to people with various things over time too. You're like, well, this is brand new for me. So whether your friend said, I don't know what that means, I can see it being a little bit disconcerting, where you go, well,
yeah. It's almost like not knowing what a matchbook is or something.
Well, that's a different. Well, there is certainly generational things. Like I know that I don't say it as much now as I used to, but I'd like say, see on the flip side.
Yeah. That's cliche.
That's not going to mean. That's a cliche. It's not going to mean anything to somebody who's never fucking played a record.
Does it come from records?
You know what I mean? I think so. I don't know what else would come from.
I have no idea.
I don't think it comes from pancakes.
It could be. It could certainly be from pancakes. You're
There's
flipping
also
pancakes. Yeah.
There's also about the weird thing how cliches also are kind of sometimes are archetypes. I mean, there's a lot of things that are satisfying archetypes. For example, like did you guys ever read about, Joseph Campbell, the man of 1,000 faces, or the hero of 1,000 faces? So much heroic literature, even Star Wars, Road Warrior. It's based on the idea, we all love that, like strong, silent, tough guy who's got some shitty past and he's trying to redeem himself. It's such a cliche, but it's kind of like a cool archetype too. It works. It keeps working. We want to still read stories and see movies about that guy.
I think it's fascinating that you're bringing up visual cliches.
Well,
and I'm just thinking of verbal cliches.
No,
I'm just finding that kind of interesting. Yeah.
Well, what's the difference between a cliche and a trope?
I think they're very similar, but I think one of them is, I think what he's describing are more tropes because of the visual aspect of it, because it has to do with like a visual medium.
Like movie tropes, like,
yeah,
manic pixie girls.
But I think some of them are able to be used without being cliches yet. Right?
I mean, to me, a cliche is a very written, documented statement,
like a saying or an aphorism.
Yeah, like a saying.
But I think it came out of the written medium, because the word cliche is like from the French, which means to click, and apparently it was based upon like the sound that a type machine would make when it was duplicating things.
Really?
That's where a cliche comes from. I do a little bit of research before shows.
Yeah.
A tiny little bit.
I think maybe cliches and tropes, the difference is cliche definitely has a more negative connotation. It's basically like, yeah, you're an imbecile for saying a cliche. Trope is just like, oh, you think about trends and, whatever. It's not as negative.
Well, then the more negative statement than cliche is hackneyed. Hackneyed is a worse thing to say.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's a cliche. But that's hackneyed. That's, yeah. And I get that, writing copy for clients, they're like, it's level one is, that's kind of a cliche. And I'm like, you're right. That's kind of a cliche. But if I get oh, this is hackneyed. I'm like, oh yeah, well, fuck you. You know, I mean, it is
How dare you?
How dare you?
Dare you accuse me of being old?
Or you go home and bite your pillow and cry.
Now that's a cliche, Greg.
Yes.
Biting my pillow has really never been a part of it. But
okay.
Thanks for asking.
I'm glad you get angry instead of sad. It's better to be
you know what a pillow biter is, right? I mean, that doesn't have anything to do with somebody who cries.
I have no idea.
You don't know what
you don't
know what the pillow biter
is? But I
was going to say you should Google that on your own then. If you
I said that expression the other day, and someone said I shouldn't say it anymore because now it's like not cool.
That
and
seems
like.
I mean, if we're going to talk about some of the words I use as derogatory, to me that's very derogatory.
Yeah, I was just quoting.
You're a pillow biter. Oh
no, I wasn't saying that, but in Waiting for Guffman, the hero who is gay, he does say, "I'm going to go home and bite my pillow" because he's all frustrated. And
yeah, but he's culturally appropriating because he's not really gay. It's kind of like right. It's kind of like gay face instead of blackface.
Gay face.
Yes.
Was that a Batman villain?
It was Dick Tracy.
Yeah, gay face.
Oh no, it's gay face. That's right, copper. You're never gonna catch me alive. Fabulous. Yeah, gay face.
He's gonna mince his way into the bank and rob it. And mince out.
He's gonna flit in there and wave a cloth, or I don't know.
This is an interesting cliche that I'm curious of, like how it came about, which is the saying, having the tail between your legs.
That's what animals do. That makes sense.
Dogs do that.
When animals are,
But humans don't quite have a tail like that, so they're just so they're saying that the person is slinking away.
Yeah. I mean, if the person had a tail,
we'll throw that one out. Let's do "cat got your tongue" instead.
Yeah, that one's weird. I don't understand that one.
Yeah, what did the cat actually rip out some guy's tongue and then he couldn't talk, so they.
I've had cats where their claws got stuck in in my cuticle once, and that's freaking painful.
From your tongue.
No, I'm just saying that's really freaking painful. So I could see, unfortunately, being in a circumstance where a cat could actually get your tongue with a claw or something.
No, I'm saying rip it out.
Well, I don't know, but I don't think it's like a full. It has caught it, but that doesn't mean it's removed it from your head.
I always pictured that in my head. I pictured him running away with your tongue, like get back, come back
with my tongue. I think it's more like if you have an actual claw stuck in your tongue, the cat has got your tongue without actually removing it from your head.
I bet it goes back to some Middle Ages witchcraft bullshit. Like, cats would steal tongues because of witches.
Yeah. Well, we could take it back to maybe the bubonic plagues, where there's all the dead bodies around, and possibly the cats are rummaging through for food, and they found a juicy little morsel in the head of some dead body, and they pulled that tongue out and went away with it. But I really think it probably comes from them catching your tongue with a claw, and you're like, I can't talk because the freaking cat's got my tongue.
However, you got in a situation where your tongue and a cat's paw were in close proximity, you've got a problem.
Well, there's lots of cat people out there who talk to their freaking cats and play with them, or they kiss them, and there could be certainly circumstances where that happens. I could see that happening from all the idiot cat owners out there. Pardon me for calling all of you cat owners idiots. I meant the idiot ones, not all cat owners, just the idiot cat owners.
But if the cat gets your testicles, then you're definitely up to something shady, probably.
I think we should make that a new cliche. Cat got your testicles?
Cat got your balls.
I don't know what that would apply to, because cat got your tongue means you're not able to say something. So if somebody says cat, that would be you use that for people who need Viagra. You can use that for anybody who's using AIDS to get it up. Cat got your testicles?
Yeah, the woman in bed.
Technically, the testicles have nothing to do with getting it up. So.
No, but
they have
just
something.
Be a colorful expression.
Well, I mean, I think that's more of a cat got your tongue, cat got your testicles. You're being kind of a wuss about something, Like, why don't you go in and talk to that guy? Oh no, I'm not going to do that. What is a cat got your testicles?
Oh, I guess we could go for the more testosterone fueled
That makes
issue.
more sense.
Right. It could work.
The most testosterone. Okay.
Because your balls.
They're
You
filled
don't
with
have any
Yeah, they're
testosterone.
your balls.
Cat took
Yes.
your balls, ripped them off, and
As
ran
opposed
away.
to the erectile dysfunction testosterone issue.
Yeah.
That's not a testosterone issue.
All I know is whatever you're doing with your hand seems to fit exactly with that statement. So another one we could do is read between the lines.
Yeah, kitty. I'm a cat person.
If you're letting the person's cat get that close to your testicles. Anyway, reading between the lines. So, all right. So would that have to do with like small print, or
What is this? You give someone the finger, but saying "read between the lines, motherfucker," and then it's this.
Yeah.
That's what I'll start.
Well, no.
I don't think it started with that, Greg. That came about much later.
But that person was clever. Whoever first
Reading
came up
between the
with
lines is essentially, the statement of you need to look into this a little bit closer because there's hidden meanings of some kind.
There's hidden
Yes.
meanings.
Right. So
Well,
how would that
often in old scripts, in old like where they would handwrite shit, the monks and people who were doing all that transcribing would put stuff in the sides and in the in between the lines to explain things for the next person who was translating it or writing it down or whatever.
The illuminated manuscripts.
the Illuminati manuscripts?
I saw some of those at a museum. Those things are like this big. They're the size of a big little book. Those things we used to read as kids, and they are so. You need a magnifying glass to see the detail. Like it's hard to believe a human being did those things. They're fucking amazing.
That kind of makes me more knowledgeable about the concept of how many angels can dance on the head of a pin, because apparently those guys wrote really tiny, so maybe they could see all those little angels on their head of a pin.
Is that from the Bible? Yeah, a lot of like cliches are from the Bible too. People just say these things since the Bible was written.
Sure, it goes back a couple thousand years. There's lots of aphorisms and statements that come from the Bible.
Yeah, like gag me with the spoon.
Here in Florida, we everybody and their fucking uncle, another cliche.
Yes, those are in Iceland.
Was talking about how it was the calm before the storm, which is a cliche.
Yes.
But it's a truth in that it is an observable fact that before a storm comes, it often does get very calm.
It's like talking about the eye of a hurricane as well. The cliche that goes with that. But
what the hell was that?
I believe that was them coming for Greg.
There was some Hell's Angel outside.
Sounded like a banshee.
Was he dancing on the head of a pin? It's like
I don't know.
how many Hell's Angels could ride a motorcycle on the head of a pin?
I just realized, guys, I wish today our names were all different, and I was Greg Pasqualeson, and you were Matt, whatever your dad's name was.
What?
We should have done that in honor of Einar. If I knew that's how they name people in Iceland.
It is kind of fascinating.
I would have been Brendan Danielson.
Danielson. That sounds like a real name.
See, the weird thing is my dad goes by his middle name. So the question is, would I go by his first name or his middle name? If that was the case.
Yeah, my wife's, my mother-in-law's maiden name is Danielson, in fact.
Wow.
Because they're Scandinavian.
Well, Bjork, speaking of Iceland, Bjork's last name ends with daughter as well. Yeah, Goodman's daughter. So she's Goodman's daughter. So that was a fascinating thing that came up at the end of that interview with Einar, was just realizing that they don't keep the surnames.
No, it just so that would hence have potentially be a problem with knowing who you're related to after a certain amount of time. Because
I would think maybe
everybody's name changes. At least if you're like, oh, you're a Haggerty, God, we might be related. But if it's like, oh, you're Brendan's son. Oh, well, I don't know.
Which Brendan? Which Brendan are you the son of?
Yeah, I'm Holly's daughter. How many Hollies are there? I don't know.
And that's the thing, is all of your kids would have different last names. Well, I mean, half of them. You'd have two daughters and two sons. You had 4 kids, right?
Yeah, I'd have Dagny Holly daughter and Bridget Holly daughter and Ian Brendan's son and Rourke Brendan's son.
Yeah.
No, I think it's all the man. I think Goodman's daughter. It's the father always gets the name.
Is it the father? So it would be Brendan's daughter?
Yeah.
I guess that makes sense.
Yeah.
And they don't spell daughter like normal English people do. They spell it in their Icelandic way.
Well, that's good, because it would be a really long last name and hard to put in some of those forms of government offices.
Well, no, it's actually pronounced the same way. It's Dottir.
Deuttir. Well, that's not bad. Deuter.
Daughter.
Since we don't have Einar here to help us out, could you guys think of what would be a good Icelandic cliche?
Don't put all your volcanoes in one basket.
Oh, that's a good one.
The fish is never good on the shore.
Always check the birth certificate of the person you're going to have sex with.
Well, she's a cousin.
Seventh cousin removed. That's okay.
All right, so last one, which I think applies for us, which is, and they all lived happily ever after.
Yeah.
Yeah. So after we end the show today, that's what'll happen. We'll all live happily ever after, at least till next week's episode when we argue with each other again.
Which is never true. That cliche never pans out.
It's a funny ending for a book, though. It's like, okay, we don't really want to give you more details. We're just going to say they lived happily ever after, and you figure out what happily means. You know, in your minds, what does happily mean? Back then, happily was, well, none of us got the plague. I'm kind of happy about that.
Yeah.
You know, sure. I'm able to pay off my indentured servitude to my lord. Finally, after 50 years working in the field, I'm happy now.
I found a turnip for dinner.
It's shaped like a penis.
Yes. And I'm going to turn it into a jack-o'-lantern.
That would make all the happily. Callbacks. That's right. Doing a few of them. Yeah, that would make somebody live happily ever after. At least, you know, for a few minutes until like they find out that, you know, the king's going to war again. You have to send away all of your kids.
Yeah.
To be cannon fodder.
Yeah, that's why no one's ever happily ever after. There's always a reckoning.
Unless you're in Iceland, you know. But
it does seem pretty nice there.
But then the Russian mafia came and they kind of ruined it for them.
Yeah, it's probably still way better than America, though, living in Iceland.
You know, there is something to be said for living on an island nation, but I would feel trapped.
Really?
You know? Yeah, I mean, after a while, there's only so many places you can go.
So you wouldn't want to move to Hawaii, which is like paradise on earth?
Well, you know, I lived on an island nation for 3 years, and you know, I lived maybe a couple of 100 yards from the beach. I hardly ever went to the beach. You know, and for me, some of the more fascinating things in the Philippines are that they buried people above ground. That was an interesting thing to me.
They just planted them in the ground?
Yeah, then they watered them every week.
Half in, half out, just like.
No, they had the coffins were above ground because if they went under, they would possibly float out.
Oh,
yeah. Same thing in Louisiana. Have you ever been to Louisiana? That's creepy when you like drive past the cemetery in Louisiana and they're all like stacked up, like it's like fuck. That's gross.
Wow.
Yeah, the other weird thing about the Philippines, they're very, very Catholic. That's not the weird part. But what they do is they have interesting rituals every Easter where some people will actually get themselves crucified to emulate what Christ went through on the cross.
I've seen that in movies.
Yeah. Well, not only that, it starts, and I witnessed this like on a school bus going to school where they'd have guys who would wear sackcloth over their heads, like a black bag, and they would flagellate themselves and they would go on a walk, you know, and at the end of their walk, they go into the South China Sea, which is salt water, after they've like stripped their backs bare using these cat o' nine tails or whatever they used. So that was one way of purging themselves of sins, but then some of them would then go the next step, which was actually putting themselves on a cross, having nails hammered into their hands. And I'm not joking about that. They literally did that. They would just go up for like a few seconds and they would come back down again, take the nails out. But yeah, it was like a thing, you know. So I don't know if that happens because you're stuck on an island nation or some interesting perversion of a mixture of whatever their native religion was combined with Catholicism later on.
They do that in South America too. They do that in other countries like Brazil. I think they do that same thing.
I think we can blame this all on we blame it on the Spaniards and the Italians. That's really
it's why. Catholicism. That's what it is. Yeah. It's nuts.
Yeah.
Sorry, Catholics out there. Yeah. But you're nuts.
Some of them, you know, don't do that anymore. There's plenty that don't.
Self-flagellate? No, I think a lot of Catholics pretty much gave up on that a long time ago.
Yeah, they just do that verbally now. Anyway, so that, you know, it's an interesting cliche that started with the Romans, which was crucifying people, and it's definitely something
Is that a
people
cliche?
I think that's a trope.
they don't appreciate it anymore. All right, well, that was our client for today, which is when cliches were new. We did, you know, we kind of gave it a little bit of justice. And what was our sponsor for this episode again? I want to have like new sponsors every episode. So if you guys have one for future episodes, feel free to come up with it.
Wasn't it Exxon Gas?
No, I think it was. I have this
Something
burning
about
sensation in my.
mints.
I have this burning sensation in my loins. Lozenges.
Lozenges.
Yeah,
Right. That's what it was.
Are they suppositories or lozenges?
that tastes like cigarettes and bad dreams.
Yes, that's correct. Which is basically what this podcast is all about. Anyway, I want to thank everybody for listening, whoever's listening out there. I know that the Happy Hour News team is probably listening, so it's a shout out to Shanty and to Sanchez Eldorado.
Yay!
And, anyway, this has been the Law Offices Quibble, Squabble, and Bicker.
Your consultation with the Law Offices of Quibble, Squabble, and Bicker has ended. You may pay your retainer at www.qsblaw.org. Please exit to the right of the water cooler and grab a candy from the front desk. We hope to see you again soon, but you need to leave now. I said leave. Why don't they even listen? Get out! Get out!